Is Volodymyr Zelenskyy the global face of resistance, the wartime hero, the man standing between Ukraine and Russian domination, now battling a corruption scandal so big that it threatens to overshadow the war itself? Ukraine is not shaken by Russians' missiles or drones only, but also by something deeper, something internal, a $110 million corruption scandal reaching into the highest levels of Zelenskyy's inner circle. A scandal involving secret kickbacks, inflated contracts, laundered money, top advisors, and a close business partner of Zelenskyy himself, now on the run. This is the story Ukraine never wanted during wartime, but it is here, and it is tearing open the question: is this corruption case Zelenskyy's biggest test since the invasion? Let's break it down. On November 10th, Ukraine's National Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU, dropped a political bombshell. They called it Operation Midas. And the numbers alone were shocking. 15 months of wiretaps, 70 raids, 8 major suspects in a corruption scheme worth over $110 million. The target? Ukraine's state-owned nuclear giant, Energoatom, the backbone of the country's electricity supply. Investigators say the scheme was simple but deadly effective. Inflate prices for infrastructure projects by 10 to 15%, force contractors to pay kickbacks or lose business, funnel that money through a chain of shell offices, and here comes the geopolitical twist: launder it through networks linked to a Russian senator, Andriy Derkach. Yes, Russian-linked channels in the middle of a war against Russia. This is why Ukrainians are furious right now, not just because money was stolen, but because it was allegedly stolen to Russia-linked channels while Russian bombs were falling on innocents. But what makes this scandal more explosive is who is involved. Among the suspects, Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine, Justice Minister, former Deputy Head of the State Property Fund. But the man at the center, the one investigators call the ringleader, is Timur Mindich, a name Ukrainians know well, a film producer, a businessman, and more importantly, a former business partner of President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. They built companies together. They worked under the same media group. And Timur Mindich, he did not wait around. He fled to Israel just one day before his house was raided, which immediately triggered the next question: who tipped him off? NABU says they are investigating the leak. Now the scandal becomes even darker. Investigators believe the stolen funds were laundered through an office linked to Andriy Derkach, a former Ukrainian MP, now Russian senator, sanctioned since 2021 and stripped off his Ukrainian citizenship. Derkach was already accused of running pro-Russian influence operations inside Ukraine, and now his networks are allegedly tied to siphoning millions right out of Ukraine's energy sector. Imagine this: while Russia bombed energy plants, while millions of Ukrainians sat in freezing blackouts, while the government said it spent tens of millions of euros to protect energy infrastructure of Ukraine, money was being siphoned away through channels connected to a Russian senator. This is not just corruption, this is sabotage from within. But there is yet another twist in this case. Mindich, the alleged mastermind, was once close to another well-known figure, Ihor Kolomoisky, the businessman who financed Zelensky's election campaign in 2019. It was Mindich who introduced Zelensky to Kolomoisky. Kolomoisky is now in Kyiv jail facing fraud charges. So suddenly, the past is haunting the present. Zelensky's former business partner, Zelensky's former campaign ally, both now entangled in major scandals. And critics are asking, is Zelensky unlucky, or is this a pattern he cannot simply escape? Here is the most important question. Is Zelensky implicated? So far, investigators say no direct evidence, no charges, no personal involvement, no links. And Zelensky has welcomed the investigation, saying action against corruption is good. But here is where things get complicated again. Earlier this year, Zelensky's office pushed a sudden proposal to strip investigating agencies, NABU and SAP, of their independence, placing them under the Prosecutor General, a political appointee. This happened exactly when these agencies reportedly began probing corruption among Zelensky's inner circle. So while Zelensky is not implicated directly, critics say the timing of that attempted power grab raises serious questions. Was it just a coincidence, or was it an attempt to contain a scandal before it exploded? This scandal is not happening in peacetime, not at a regular time. It is happening while Ukraine faces critical ammunition shortages, cities endure blackouts, and Russia intensifies its winter bombing campaign. For Western allies who have funded Ukraine's defense, the optics are terrible. $1 billion war effort overshadowed by a $100 million corruption scandal at the top. And that is why this scandal is more than just money. It is a threat to Ukraine's international credibility, Ukraine's image. Now we return to the question, is Zelensky corrupt? Right now, the evidence is his associates are under investigation, his former business partner is on the run, his ministers are implicated, his government tried and failed to weaken the investigators. But Zelensky himself has not been accused.